Okay, welcome back. This is part 2 of a two-piece video that I've put together on the watch boutiques of London. If you haven't checked out part 1 yet, maybe click up here to start the journey from the beginning, where we looked at Breguet and Hublot, two organisations sitting alongside each other in New Bond Street, London, and you'll never find two neighbours more at odds with each other. In this part, we're going to start with Cartier though. Okay guys, Cartier. The first thing that I have to say is that, pretty much all the boutiques that I've been in are gorgeous, but wow, Cartier has to be the most impressive. It really is like being transported into a salon in Paris in the 1920s. It's hugely evocative of all the design aspects that you would expect of this particular brand, and one of the world's most prestigious designers of jewellery and watches. It's exquisite. You ask yourself, do people actually live like this? Countless immaculate sales assistants stand poised to help you with the slightest whim. I naturally bypassed the jewellery, sorry if you're curious about that guys, and went straight to a glass cabinet that was full of Tank and Santos variations. And sure, while some of them are pretty expensive, I was shocked at how accessible the Cartier prices actually began. A large Tank must on a stainless steel bracelet can be had for £3,700. A large Tank must on a stainless steel bracelet can be had for £3,700. The XL version for £5,700. A large Santos de Cartier is £7,400, and the medium is £6,700-ish. These watches are absolute can't go wrong classics. Yes, you can spend $285,000 on a Rotunda de Cartier, although to be fair, you do get a set of cufflinks with the Rotunda de Cartier Mas Mysterieux.
Perhaps my French could be better.
But you can get yourself a classic Cartier Tank for £3,300. And it was the Tank that I wanted to try. I tried it in XL and I tried it in large. Now, times have changed a lot, and the large is now pretty small by modern tastes. The XL that I tried was the one with Roman numerals. I couldn't get the same iteration of the watch in the two sizes. But something really crazy occurred to me, and it was that with Cartier, less is more. The large, i.e. the smaller watch, in the Tank must design with plain blue dial, it just popped with wrist presence. It's just 6.6 millimeters thick, 33.7 millimeters by 25.5 millimeters. Tiny dimensions, really. This watch couldn't be more simple. It has no numerals at all. It has no seconds hand. It has a traditional buckle on a leather strap. The only thing that is in any way extra about this watch is the cabochon crown. In 1932, Clark Gable chose a Cartier Tank and wore it on screen in the movie Red Dust. In 1968, Steve McQueen needed to transform himself to become Thomas Crown, and to evoke the culture and cool of the movie, he chose a Cartier Tank. Muhammad Ali famously wore a Cartier Tank in 1975, and of the three, Ali's wearing of that watch is the one that is the thing that's most prominent in my mind. I mean, it really looked tiny on his wrist particularly. If as a guy you're caught up in the increasingly large sizes of men's watches and you find smaller pieces to be effete or effeminate, you only need to check in with this Cartier heritage to blow those cobwebs away. The smaller, large tank is a quartz movement. Nothing to say there really. I personally have nothing against quartz movements at all, and they have their benefits. The larger XL tank must was an automatic with 48 hours of power reserve inside a case that was just 8.37 millimeters thick. The size is more orthodox in the modern context of what you'd expect from a man's piece. You have Roman numerals around the face, with the exception of the number 4, which the eagle-eyed will spot is denoted by 4 eyes rather than IV. No, I don't know why either. It looks good though. The watch has a date complication and a seconds hand. So compared to the standards of the tank large, this resembles a chronograph. As with the smaller model, we've got the cabochon crown, and it's modelled on the website by a guy in a white shirt, black tie, black suit combination, and yeah, it's really just that classic. In my eyes, it's just classic. It's chic, it's obtainable. Bravo, Cartier, bravo. It actually made me want to do my video in a suit. Not actually enough to do the video in a suit, but you know, I thought about it. That's when we got hungry, and I'm not joking, the most affordable place to eat in this area is, you got a choice between McDonald's or Five Guys. And we were feeling the vibe, so we upgraded to Five Guys.
This is a tasty burger.
We then walked around and got a little bit lost. We also hit some other places out of sheer curiosity. Refueled and ready to go, I wanted to go to IWC. IWC Schaffhausen is, for very good reason, a brand that you just can't talk shit about. And I get that. But at the same time, this week on Phil tries to get himself cancelled again. Okay, these watches are huge. Breitling advertises some pretty incredible sizes, but when you put them on the wrist, you're surprised by how wearable those sizes actually are. IWC are rocking out a 43mm dial at the standard pilot's watch, but a whopping 46mm on the big pilot. I'm blessed with a pretty versatile wrist, but I'm not blessed with an IWC versatile wrist. In fairness, they do offer a 41mm option, but when that's your small, holy shit, these are big watches. At IWC, the watch that really caught my attention was the Big Pilot's Watch Perpetual Calendar Edition Rodeo Drive. Because obviously, A, I'm an absolute sucker for complications, and B, it's a 30 grand watch. Could I make myself happy by looking at the blacked out Top Gun £5,900 model? No. Not me, no. But in fairness, it's more than that. This watch is a bit special. Once you get over the fact that it's a giant's watch with a 46.5mm diameter, the blue dial is stunning. The watch building is first class. Small hacking seconds, 7 days of power reserve. It has a power reserve indicator that's almost smuggled onto a subdial. Perpetual calendar with day, date, month and year, and the 4-digit year display, plus Northern and Southern Hemisphere moon phase complication too. You might say that the dial looks a bit busy, but in fact they've done a great job of making it read like a fighter pilot's instrument panel. And yet the white hands pop up with the white numerals enough to make it quite simple to read at a glance as a basic instrument of time too. I love the strap. It has a great clasp. The crown is also big, I mean very big, but it probably stands out more because it's stainless steel and not the blacked out ceramic of the rest of the case. Flip the watch over and you've got one of the most attractive rear exhibition case backs out there, and that they've made that stand out with a different colour of metal that frames it. It's like a gunmetal sitting on ceramic on the framing the view, and it just works so well. It's just such a genius design touch. For some, the 15.5mm case height will be too chunky, but this is absolutely not the watch you wear to work under a suit or under a cuff. It's a very sporty watch that will look absolutely incredible when it's dressed appropriately. Personally, although I love it, I couldn't wear it. It's too big for me. The irony of talking about less is more on a Cartier tank and then coming to this at IWC is genuinely not lost on me. What can I say? Less is more on a Cartier tank, more is more on an IWC. Leaving IWC and walking up New Bond Street, genuinely, I promise, I didn't do this on purpose. I encountered Grand Seiko. I have a problem. I cannot walk past a Grand Seiko boutique. Don't hate me. It's the dials. I can't do it. So we went inside. I'm not going to do another full Grand Seiko review. Yep, great dials, terrible bracelets. You've heard it all before. But it would be wrong of me, remiss of me, not to show you this dial. This is the SLGA 025. Those names. Anyway, with the new Evolution 9 spring drive movement, it's also known as the Atera Valley. Frankly, I've seen the pictures and thought, no way, not in your life. In the hand, this watch literally sparkles and it's gorgeous. It's simply gorgeous. I don't really get the need for a 5-day power reserve on the spring drive. It already has 72 hours and that's always been enough for me. But I guess more is good. The rear case back is also improved, and for some, moving the power meter to the case rear is also very welcome, and it's a sign that Grand Seiko are starting to do some listening. But who are we fooling? This watch is all about the dial and it's bewitching. And finally, yes, the bracelet is still pretty bad, and no, Grand Seiko are not listening or getting the message on that. Why don't they deal with it? Anyway, I'm going to restrain myself because I was actually on my way to the Longines boutique, which is on Oxford Street itself. I popped in and had a look at a number of pieces, but the piece that really got things interesting for me was the new version of the Spirit Flyback chronograph. I've done a full review of this watch before, of the Spirit Flyback chronograph, and you can click above to catch up with that content. But Longines have updated their offer on this watch with an 18 karat pink gold cap, and there are two colorways, a green version and a brown version. It was the brown version that really caught my eye. It has a tobacco sunburst quality to it, and that's for those of you who are familiar with guitar finishes. It has so much warmth, which is added to by the gold, and despite the fact that it's in gold, it still feels comfortable and relaxed, well suited to a nice pair of jeans and a casual shirt with the sleeves rolled up. It's a great looking watch. I would also add that the MSRP on this watch is a whopping £5,900, which is a whole £1,650 more than the standard Spirit flyback on a strap. And as I said in my original video, this takes this watch into direct competition with a number of highly competitive options from people like Tag Heuer, Breitling, and even Omega, particularly if you're willing to shop around in the secondary market. And with 17mm of case thickness, this still remains a heck of a chunky watch. Sadly, I was very low on battery power by this stage of the day, so I only got a few images to share. Nevertheless, I still like it an awful lot. Okay, thank you so much for taking this tour of the London boutiques with me. I appreciate that I didn't get into all of them, but I can go back and I can do some more if you want me to. Hit me in the comments with your favourite piece from the day and let me know, where should I go next? Thank you for supporting the channel. Don't forget to give the video a like and hit that subscribe button to see more great content. I've got a review of the Christopher Ward C60 Trident Pro dive watch coming up for you, so if you're interested in a new CW, that might be one for you to catch as well. In the meanwhile, why not catch up with some of my previous reviews, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, guys.